Welcome back to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I am your host and your scary movie companion, Christian Ramey. And back again for another week, clapping them ass cheeks. It's the best producer in the whole wide world, Mr. Ozark Mark. Mark, what's happening?
Ving, ving. That's a chainsaw sound if you were unfamiliar with it. That's right, it's the Sloppy Horror Podcast, Road to Halloween, and we have picked a movie with the sounds to make you feel like it's Halloween time. Because what's the ultimate sound of Halloween? What is it? What is it?
Pumpkins.
No. Pumpkin. What is the noise of a pumpkin? How's it go? No. It's a fucking chainsaw.
Yeah,
you hear a chainsaw, you don't think of your local landscaping company cutting down a tree. No, you don't.
Nope.
If you listen to this show, you definitely fucking don't.
From years of working in a haunted house, there have been many with chainsaws, and it's just what you would give somebody who's never worked in one. And the power, it's like giving somebody the hands of God, because there's no trying. You don't have to be scary. You don't have to be anything. You just put on a suit and run out there with the chainsaw. And that noise will have a group of teenagers and adults running away. Running away. I've seen people run away from tickets they've purchased. Like
you paid for it and you're running away from it.
Yeah, and the line. Seriously, I've had no returns. Just like we're fucking out of here. Chainsaw always works, dude. Every time. It's not a very practical weapon by any means. You'd get stabbed, I'm just saying you're very vulnerable. It's a hard thing to control. But if you actually were to get hit with a chainsaw, it's pretty sick and pretty gnarly. That would do some damage, and it has in many of movies, and it just... we haven't mentioned the movie we are talking about today is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I feel like you can only say it like that guy.
Yeah, you have to.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. So even though there's a lot to unpack with this is obviously a remake, but we're dealing with chainsaws, we're dealing with Leatherface, and
we're also dealing with Jessica Biel.
Dude, are we not?
God fucking bless America for that.
Dude, she is uncomfortably hot.
Yeah, I know. Like that's the best way to describe it.
Like uncomfortably hot.
I know.
Like, stop being so hot.
You shouldn't be that hot. Yeah. Like stop.
At all, dude.
Like I just picture the people casting. It's like who we got for casting for the final girl? Jessica Biel.
That's Seventh Heaven girl?
All right.
Yes.
So we're gonna put tight jeans, white tank top. All right, we're gonna throw some blood on that. We're gonna make sure there's a lot of rain on her.
And then throw in a freezer.
Fuck yeah.
She's soaking wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid choice.
Many of things have been tugged to that movie, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, you can't deny that. Lots of great characters. So there's lots of different opinions on this movie. So we have a lot to discuss because obviously, folks, we're dealing with a remake, and there's lots of layers to pull back on this onion. Lots of layers. But before we pull back any layers, what we're going to tell you to do is go onto YouTube and follow Sloppy Horror Podcast. Why? Because it's completely for free, and it helps us out big time, and I am urging you to do it. Even if you're just an occasional listener of the show, you don't catch every episode, still, it costs you nothing, helps us out tremendously. Those going on your phone, opening Apple Podcast or Spotify, giving 5-star ratings. You don't have to write anything. Yeah, feel free to. You can write whatever you want, but all you need to do is just click the amount of stars. It would mean the world to us. Obviously, we have a Patreon with bonus episodes. That helps us keep the lights on around here. We also sell some merchandise because, folks, not only are we an advertisement-free show, the only show that you will find, horror show, with 0 advertisements that sounds produced at this level. Why? Because we only sell ourselves. That's what we like to do. So if you are a fan of the show, you are a limited person. You're walking around here, you are limited. You are part of a crew. Let everybody know, hey, I'm a sloppy whore. This is what I do. And then make sure you post pictures on the Instagram and stuff so we see. We need to see these
So
things.
we see how sloppy of a whore you really are.
We need to know.
The world needs to know.
Well, preliminaries are done. We have signed the NDA. We need to move right into the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, here's the deal. Remakes had happened pretense to this movie. We're not going to deny that. 13 Ghosts is a remake. Right? Came out in the 60s. This one was weird because it was a big film, but people... the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is king with Tobe Hooper. It's king. That name, first off, that name, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There's something about that, dude. So many movies had tried to steal the massacre thing or the middle, like, lawnmower massacre. Like, they've tried everything they can to try to recreate that title, but it is one of the best horror titles, movie titles, to ever exist. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It lives larger. Like, that title scared people sometimes more than the movie did. We didn't always live in a world where you could just pull up YouTube on your phone. Somebody would tell you about the movie, and you'd be like, what the fuck? Oh, I'll keep my eye out for that. Somebody's like, I got it, dude. We're going to watch it. And you're like, what? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, that is one of the most iconic titles of all time. So they decided to tackle that movie, and what this did, it was such a successful movie that it really kind of changed the way that movies were made over the next few years, because it put a lot of our favorite horror franchises on the remake guillotine. Just put their heads right in there and sliced them off. Not all of them to the levels of effort of this movie. I feel like this movie at least put in effort. Put in a shitload of effort, and it, honestly, it is not the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That is king. You can't recreate that grittiness, that title, the way that movies were distributed. It felt like a snuff film. A lot of people were convinced that it was real. They didn't know what they were watching. The same way a Blair Witch Project, even kind of a Cloverfield, some of those weird movies where it just was different. People were like, what is this? Is this real? What's going on? And that's 100% what the original did. Now, this new movie, the remake, 2003, it's got a veneer on it. It looks like a blockbuster movie. It's got beautiful kids in it, people that you recognize before this movie. Lots of pretty faces that people have seen. Obviously, we mentioned Jessica Biel. That being said, it's its own thing, and I'm 35. Okay, so I was born late 80s. A lot of people around my age or younger grew up with this movie. This is an old movie now, if we want to get serious, man. I mean, it's a 21-year-old movie. Fuck. This movie's old enough to drink.
Yeah.
So you have to respect that to that quality. And I'm not saying, like, if you're a smart individual, or if you yearn for horror and film, you can try to go back and watch, I'm going to watch Frankenstein and try to see how this was scary, or whatever. 1974 or 73, however you want to play it, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know if it would still have the same pull or gravitas towards a younger generation. It may, but it's just so dated in a way. Now, it's an iconic piece of film. It's a great film. It's amazing. I'm just stating, it is not a film that I feel like every young kid is leaning to watch now. And I still do. I love the movie. But it is what it is. It's a very cheap movie that was filmed over 3 to 5 days in the heat of crazy August heat with unknown actors. It was made with mob money. So let's call it what it is. It was all the planets happened to align for it to become what it became, but that was not a shoo-in thing. No one had any idea that movie would become what it became. But that title, that character, the way it looked, nobody had seen anything like that. And then the way drive-ins worked. People went to the drive-in and seen that. They didn't forget. They're like, what the fuck? And then the story spread with that title, and then everybody knew it, especially when home video came out. This movie's a little different because it doesn't have that craziness, but it does have broad appeal. And I just recently did a review on the new Salem's Lot movie, which I didn't hate at all. I thought it was pretty good, but people were half and half on it. Some people were really mad that I liked it. And like old people, they were like going crazy back and forth in the comments. And I find this movie is very much that way too. But you know me, I'm not big into remakes, not big into sequels. But there are these cases where there are these movies that maybe kind of lack. I love Phantasm, but if somebody was really serious about like making a Phantasm remake, I wouldn't be mad at that because I don't feel like a lot of the kids go watch Phantasm. And you know what? New Salem's Lot came out. You know what was on HBO? Every Salem's Lot ever. And I saw, you know me, bro. How many Salem's Lot videos have I made? So many. More than anyone else you've ever, any horror content creator you've ever met. I've made more Salem's Lot videos about this video, the miniseries, my love for the book. I'm telling you, bro, when I went on here, give this some positive reviews, which, you know, it's just, you know me, I'm not going to pander. I look forward to this. People fucking go apeshit. They freaked out. And some did, and some very much agreed. But what's happening is, I've talked about this movie and couldn't get any engagement on it, for like very little engagement. I make a video about how I like the new one. Everybody's like, oh, I love this and the story and the book, and the people are going back to the old shit. So, as much as I don't like that as a reasoning, like, we should make horror sequels and remakes because how are the young kids gonna know? Because they can watch the old movies, that's how. It's like generally like my argument, right? They can watch, like, you don't need a new Nightmare on Elm Street for somebody to go watch Nightmare on Elm Street. But I feel like Freddy Krueger has a lot more pull still. People talk about Freddy. Freddy's still cool and popular. People are still watching the Friday the 13th. Some of these movies are falling out. And Texas Chainsaw is weird in the big franchises. Like, out of the main four, like, it's the weird one, right? Like, because the other ones are a little more popular. So it's just strange, but I'm happy that I know for a fact that this movie sent people back to watch the originals. I know it did. I grew up with kids who watched this movie. I mean, I was a teenager when it came out. I know it did. It created a lore behind it. The came out with like a really cool DVD set. I mean, we've discussed before. DVDs were a game changer, dude. You had, you know, videotapes which you could watch the movie. Maybe had like a little featurette at the beginning of it. DVDs had bonus features, all this cool shit. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre DVD setup was high tier at the time. It was like back when ICP would come out with the new album, dude. Like, it had like posters, like all just kind of extra shit to go with it. It was so cool. Like a little booklet of like the photos from the crime scene and evidence. Like, it was just cool and creative. I know those are still out there, but people got hooked on that. They got obsessed, and I know this sent people back to the franchise. I know it did. So it also made production companies ruin a lot, or not ruin, because they didn't ruin any of the franchises, but make some shitty movies riding the coattails of some of my favorite franchises. But it's really hard to deny the power of this one, dude. This one, like it, love it, whatever the fuck you want to say about it. It was a real smash. Real smash, yeah.
No, this is a remake that I actually enjoy, man. They paid good homage to the original. They followed a lot more things, but they did little bits of twist on them.
Yep.
The casting was great. I love the cop guy, the sheriff boy.
Arlie Ermey?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I always think of him as the coach from Saving Silverman, though. That's like the movie I always remember him by. But
yeah, he's infamous from from Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah,
he was
but
he
he's
could stuff a golf ball through or a fucking garden hose.
But he is a great pick for that character. I mean, it all fits well. And, I mean, there's not much story to it. They didn't try to put any backstory to it. They didn't. No, they just fed, like, yeah, fucking Leatherface, teenagers. They got stopped. They find them, they kill them. That's the whole story. So I compare this to that because you were talking earlier about how people have that argument between the original and then the remake, right?
Because
so the best way to describe this, in this case, this movie to me, this is what my comparison is. Now, not everybody will get this, but I'm gonna take just the let's take the Dodge Charger car. Everybody knows what the Dodge Charger car is. Okay, you see them all the time. It's a very nice. It's a very nice car. Now back in the.
It's a truck.
Back in the time, shut the fuck up. Now back in the day, do I do this to you when you're trying to make a point? I don't think I do. I'll slap the fucking fucking mustache right off your face. I swear to God. Now listen to what I'm saying. Okay? Get me all emotional here. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of the original Chargers. The 2 doors, the muscle car, right? Very fucking nice car, right? But it's old, but it's still old, right? Then you got this new Texas Chainsaw. It's like the new Chargers. It's got 4 doors. Still a lot of power, still looks nice, right? Now, people are going to pick between one of those two. There's some maybe like, I like that old Charger better, or I like that new Charger better. But you like them both, but it just changed. It's just updated. It's more cinematic.
I know, and it's weird because, like I said, it's 20+ years now. It's like,
I know, but you know, people look at that like the original's so great, but you think about it like, man, how good can we make this with like actual money and production behind it
and modern parts? Yeah,
and it makes sense, and I think they did a good job.
Yeah,
really.
And it wouldn't make sense if you were making a new car to make an old Charger. Like things have changed. You're not allowed to make certain shit. Like same with movies. You're not allowed to make certain shit. You're not allowed to do certain shit. So it's like you can make it as good as you can for like with the parts that are current. Right. And it's kind of same with movies.
And you can like them both. If I were to pick, I would still pick the original over this newer one. Mm-hmm. But if somebody put the 2003? Mm-hmm. Somebody put the 2003 one, I'd be like, okay,
it was great, dude. It was really hard to deny. And this was the age where I'm like watching movies with girls and shit. So this was like prime time, dude. This was one of those movies. Mm-hmm. A lot of canon memories. A lot to get into. And I guess we could give a quick synopsis, but we should fill the shoes. It's old. Fill the shoes with the path of the wicked. Unleash the fury, let the chaos reign. Oh, yeah, that was a good fucking bumper right there. That's right, boys and girls. Time to fill them shoes. If you're unfamiliar with the segment, this is the segment where we try to put you in a time machine, okay? What's artwork with no context? We gotta look deeper, okay? You can't watch an old movie and be like, this is out of date. Well, yeah, it wasn't made now. So let's try to put ourselves in the year of when it came out. They have a little better context of this film, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All right, so it dropped October 17th, 2003. So we're coming up on an anniversary.
Ooh.
Anniversary.
Did you do that on purpose?
I didn't. It was just a coinkerdink.
It's funny how that coinkerdink, I don't even know how to say that.
Yeah.
I can't repeat that. Coinkerdink.
Let's think about what was happening in 2003. There's a lot of things happening in 2003. First off, it was the first camera phone, homie. You remember the camera phone?
Yes, I do.
All right, we had that going on. Finding Nemo was just taking over the world. TV show The OC came out.
Ugh.
I like that show. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. All right, 2 TV shows ended though. Old Dawson's Creek and Buffy.
Oh no.
The 90s were over.
Damn.
They were over.
You gotta let them die.
Yeah. A little sad thing that happened, the Columbia tragedy. Wasn't good. The airplane. Not the spaceship.
Yeah,
shuttle.
that's the spaceship where the teacher died or something.
No, that was the one. That was the one from the 80s. That was the Challenger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the Columbia where they burned up coming back into the Earth's surface.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, not good. That's
at least
scary.
You got to go to space first, though.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'm a little jelly of that. We did have. Let's just get into some of the most popular films at the time that the Texas Chainsaw came out. So first off, it became the #1 movie. That's always should be mentioned because sometimes I try to we're trying to give context, obviously. So At the time the Texas Chainsaw came out, Texas Chainsaw was #1. You're like, well, that's no context. Like, thanks, bud. But I do like to mention when a horror movie jumps to first place, because that's not something that happens all the time. So just to give you relevance for how big the movie was. So that was #1. #2, Kill Bill. Bill he wasn't allowed to live.
Mm-hmm.
#3, at the time, was Runaway Jury. I don't know if I know that movie.
I don't know it either. Next.
School of Rock with Jack Black.
Not a bad movie.
No, that was decent. The next was Mystic River with Sean Penn. It was kind of a drama. Not that great. Also in the top 10 was Under the Tuscan Sun with Bruce Willis, B. Willie.
Me Willie.
Yep. And then also in the top charts at the time was Underworld. Do you remember Underworld?
Yeah, she was hot.
Oh, dude, crazy hot. Like, the crazy eyes, dude. I mean, she'd talk you off a bridge.
Yeah, she'd be pregnant.
Yep.
Yep.
Walk off this bridge.
On purpose.
Like, she would trance you. But that's what was happening as far as the movies. And then also Pirates of the Caribbean came out that year, and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Those were very popular movies. The girls really liked the How to Lose a Guy. I had to watch the movie a lot of times with ladies.
Well, you gotta go through it.
Yep, you do. Let's talk a little bit about music. The horrible music going on.
Oh, God.
In 2003.
It's not gonna be good, I already know.
#1 song at the time is Baby Boy by Beyonce and Sean Paul.
Horrible.
Okay. We've got Get Low by Little John.
I like Lil Jon.
I do too. And the East Side Boys. You can't exclude them. One of them drank out of a gas can. I don't know how he's doing now.
I remember that shit.
Yeah, but what are you going to do? Hold on, I wanted to clarify this #2 song. We got to clarify it.
Well, you gotta clarify it for you. Just said it.
No, I don't.
I don't understand. You said Get Low.
No, I wanted to clarify the #2 because that was the #3.
Oh.
Shake Your Tail Feather by Nelly and P. Diddy.
Well, we could have just left that out.
But we needed to be right.
Yeah, we gotta do our job.
Oh, who could forget #4? Right There.
No. Oh no, that song was awful.
Next one's not too bad. I'm not gonna pretend like I don't still kind of like this song. Damn by the Youngbloods.
Yeah, I like that song.
Because if you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. Yeah, that should be like a company slogan. If you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. I'm going with that company.
Yeah, I know for sure.
I don't know what they sell, but
That should be our slogan now. Fuck it. Is it still copyrighted?
I hope not, because we're taking it. #6 was Ludacris. Stand up. When I move, you move.
Just like that.
#7 was Frontin' by Pharrell. What a stupid name.
Why do you say it like that?
You got to say them really white when you're doing that.
I know, but fronting?
Fronting.
Hey, man, why are you fronting?
Hey, I really feel like you fellas are fronting on this whole thing.
No, frontin'.
Frontin'. Say it like with the apostrophe.
Sounds like a European boy's name.
Frontin'.
Where's my young frontin' at?
The young lad Frontin'. Come here, me boy. All right. Ooh, and then Fabulous, NTU. Song was all right. Song's all right.
We can get on with
50 Cent PIMP. Because you needed that.
Let's just go on with the next part.
All right, well, let's just go into sports because that's the final.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea who won the World Series that year?
The Yankees.
Nope, it was the Florida Marlins. They beat the Yankees that year.
The Florida Marlins.
Your NBA Finals champions of 2003 were the San Antonio Spurs. 2003 NFL champions were the New England Patriots. And your 2003 Stanley Cup champions were the New Jersey Devils. The Devil.
North did pretty well.
Yeah, they was doing all right. Now, folks, I hope you guys remember what's going on. I hope you got your jean shorts on. You're back in 2003. You've got your Nokia brick. Maybe, maybe you got a BlackBerry. You were one of the people that had a BlackBerry. But we're here. playing Snake on our phones, getting ready to watch Jessica Biel.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
What a fun time. Now, first off, Mark, do you remember the first time you saw this movie?
No. I remember I don't remember where I was when I watched it. I have no idea.
I do remember. I remember my buddy Alex told me about it. He made me watch a couple horror movies, which is weird because I was into horror like that. I hadn't seen it first, but it was pretty short after it came out, like on DVD. And I just remember he put it on, and I was like, "Whoa!" I was just sucked in. And I don't know, man. It's really hard to knock. I mean, now I do hold it guilty for starting the domino, but it was so good that it started the domino.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's how things happen. It's like, oh, Led Zeppelin was such a great band, and then like from Billy Squier on, every band just kind of sounds like Led Zeppelin a little bit. Even Heart, like there's just like bands that tried to mimic that sound. Drake got really popular, and then artists tried to sound like Drake for 10 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what happens. Like, something so big makes a movement, but yeah, it's really hard to knock it, dude. Like, there's because I don't like remakes and stuff that often, you know? I'm always bitching against them, but it's like I feel like I gotta eat my words here because it's just so good.
It's just powerful, man, and you know, you're not used to seeing movies like this on the big screen anymore.
Yeah, and Leatherface was different in this movie. Like, I hold it in a different... It's apples to oranges, the two movies, because one feels like an underground snuff film that just changed the world.
Like, you shouldn't be watching it, and then...
Yeah, this was more of it changed how movies were done, but fuck, it was just a great time. Wasn't too long. I mean, it really hit the sweet spot for a lot of things. I'm sure this would definitely still scare people now, but just even a teenage me, I just remember how engaged I was. Like, not afraid, but just like locked in. You know, you're locked in. And I really do show appreciation to movies that make me do that, because not like I'm some tough badass. It's just watch a sad movie with me. I'm a little bitch. I'll be crying. I'm not meant for that kind of stuff, but things just don't get me as much anymore. And the way they sequence the chases in this movie, I think the family, they changed the name from the Hewitts, you know, to the Hewitts from the Sawyers, which is fine. Originally, you know, the sheriff character was not that Jim, what's his name? Seidel? I'm trying to remember his name, but the hard-shelled peppercorns, you know, that guy. He was awesome. I love that guy, but he had a little bit more humor to him. He just had this level of, it was just different. Like, that was kind of the guy that, you know, that he was portraying. But R. Lee Ermey was so fucking scary. Like, that, because he was still with it, and you're like, oh my God, this guy's fucking nuts. Like, he's crazy. Like, we have to get out of here. Fuck Leatherface. This guy's on one. Like, yeah, and you haven't even seen Leatherface yet. So it made the family scarier. And I love Chop Top from Texas Chainsaw 2. That's my favorite. And I do, out of this and the remake, I love the original. But man, it's really hard with 1 and 2 for me, because 2 is just so great. I love Chop Top. I loved all those characters, but they had a dash of comedy. Comedy. They were funny. This family was like a little fucked. Even like the people in the trailer park that like gave Jessica Biel's character the tea and knocked her out. They're not even in the family, but this like whole little place is just fucked. You're like,
yeah,
what's wrong with you people, dude? The original, the hitchhiker was a little squirrely and a little nutty and a little wild. Grandpa was funny. Like, it was all kind of just wild and out there. But
yeah, they made it in a darker perspective.
They did, dude. Like,
and it worked.
Yeah,
it works. I mean, you could do either or, and both of them work.
Bro, the little boy from The Ring, first off, just works in all horror movies. But hold on. Here, you just pretend like you're the people. Say, what's your name?
What's your name?
Jevada. Jevada. Bro, I am not okay when because first off, they're not his real teeth, and the kid's not ugly like that. So I'm not laughing at an ugly child. He's trying to be ugly on purpose. And bro, like, he wasn't looking at him when he answered. He straight went, Jeff, dog. Dog, I'm not well. Like, every time I see it, I'm not well. Like, the teeth and the eyes, like, the fucking, like, I hate it. Every time, I mean, it's so funny. But that, I don't know what it is to me. Hillbilly characters just, I mean, maybe because I've seen them, you know.
They're just fucking scary, dude. Hillbillies are just fucking scary because you don't know what they're going to do. But we got to do this right now. We're fucking riding along in it. We got to find out more things about this movie now.
Okay.
Welcome to the What Do You Know here. You know what's going to happen. Go fuck yourself. So why don't you go tell me something that you may or may not know about this movie here?
I know a few things about this movie.
You know a few?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know a few. So first off, you got a guy named Leatherface. That just sounds scary. You need to have somebody that's imposing, play the character, so it works on screen. Because I tell you, everything else could work, but if you have some guy that doesn't work, it's not going to be scary. So they were thinking and considering all kinds of options, and they called an actor and asked him. Now, granted, he said no because he wanted to spend more time. But the person they called and asked was Mr. Ivan Drago himself, Mr. Dolph Lundgren.
No way.
Yeah, a fucking Ivan Drago, Leatherface.
That would be scary as hell.
That would be horrible. It would be terrifying. Now, another little fact I did learn is that, you know, the Jessica Biels, you know, she wanted to be, you know, proper for this movie because she says she loves horror movies. She's, you know, a big fan. So she watched a bunch of horror movies to get ready for this one, but mostly The Shining.
Is she trying to get pregnant?
That's
I'm
what I'm
just
saying.
asking.
That's what I'm saying, dog.
She will be pregnant 24/7.
Yep, I know it. She's married to the Justin Timberlakes.
Right now?
Yeah, they've been for a long time.
A lucky son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm. He brought sexy back, you know. So
whatever, good for him.
I guess
Not
that's
good
how
for
it
him.
works when
Not good for him. He can go fuck himself.
Yeah, go fuck yourself, dude.
Yeah, really. Anyway, well, that's nice. That's good. I like that she did that. She was a very good final girl.
Yeah, very good final girl. I liked her a lot. Now, do you know anything about this movie?
I know one thing, yeah.
Okay, that matters.
So, this is the only Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie where you actually see Leatherface's face.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Up close and personal.
Yeah, he's got a little fucked up nose. He doesn't have a nose. I don't know what his deal was, but I
that
remember
on.
watching this again. I was like, yo, when the fuck did we start showing Leatherface's face here?
Yikes.
Apparently they wanted to go off the rails and, you know, do a little something different.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we were always curious. It's nice to see his face, but I think you should put that face back on.
Yeah, you hear about these, these Jasons and these Michaels and these people, and you're like, oh, that's horrible. Everybody made fun of them, said they were ugly, and they felt like they had to wear a mask. And then they take it off, and you're, well actually, maybe the mask. Yeah.
I think these people were trying to help you, actually.
Yeah,
you probably took it the wrong way.
Yeah, the mask's kind of cool, actually.
If anybody ever tells you to wear a mask, they're doing it out of good faith.
Yeah.
Because you're fucking ugly.
Yeah, that's good. That's
just
good
accept it.
Yeah.
Not everybody can be beautiful.
And there's lots of cool masks.
Yeah.
You can make your own thing about it.
Exactly.
You
can
make
have
movies.
You have one for every day of the week if you want.
They're not even thinking.
No. Well,
yeah.
That's a bunch of interesting facts. Do you know any more facts?
I think that's it. That's all I got.
Okay, good. We're going to leave now.
Until the next time. Wow. That was pretty interesting.
That was very enlightening. Thank you.
We've been talking all about the history of the movies and how they meld into the world and how people dig them and what's what. And that's all neat. That's all neat for fucking nerds. Aren't you guys smart? You know about movies. Oh. No one cares. But what we do care about, people, is what's your social security number? What color is your butthole? I'm just kidding. No, well, maybe. I don't know maybe. I don't know. But what I do care about...
What color is your butthole? The longer I think about that, the funnier it is, because there are many colors of buttholes.
Yeah.
Some are good and some are very bad.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So depending on what your answer is,
Oh, yeah.
it's like different shades of wheat.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, God.
But when it comes to this...
Does it look like chewed bubble gum, or what the fuck does it look like,
A
too?
balloon knot.
Yeah.
Now, Mark, when it comes to this movie, some pretty cool kills, some pretty cool things going on. I want to ask, it's kind of a two-parter. What was your favorite part, and what was your favorite kill?
Motherfucker.
Some pretty neat ones.
Well, my favorite part is probably when Sheriff shows up to the van and they're trying to get the dead girl out of the van. Just the shit he says, and he's starting to wrap her up in saran wrap. Like, just the whole thing.
Cop a feel when we'd wrap up these fillies.
He's saying fucked up shit, and he's like, come on, man, it's just a dead body. Like, I forget everything that he says, but it's hilarious. And then they're trying to put it in the back seat. Like, hey, don't put that thing back there. Put it in the trunk.
I could just picture you and
he
I
puts
in this
it in his
situation.
stuff. He's like, don't smash my stuff either. And then, of course, any close-up ass shot of Jessica Biel is my favorite part, too. Let's see, favorite kill. Let's go through them. I tell you what, I liked the first kill. The
Hitchhiker?
No, not the hitchhiker. That's a suicide.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The Jessica Biel's boyfriend.
Oh,
his kill,
dude.
Because they didn't recreate it exactly, but it was an homage.
Yeah, the Kirk's death.
Of the Kirk's death, because, bash him on the head, and then he's dragging him and he's shaking and did all of it, and then he slams the door. I like that a lot. I
think his fish was a lot less cartoonish than the original movie, too.
Yeah.
It looked real.
But the original fish is just disturbing, and in fact.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about it. But he fished it good, and it was like, okay, I see what you're doing here. And then I also like the part where he finally reveals him wearing his face to Jessica Biel, and she finally realizes, like, oh, and then she realizes, like, yeah, we're fucked.
Yeah, that was so crazy. Like, somebody that, like, we're so used to, like, that's the concept of Leatherface. Like, he cuts people's faces off and wear it. Like, your brain already knows that story. But, like, real deal, if you're in a situation and a motherfucker came up wearing your friend's face,
it would be very disturbing. If someone has never heard of Leatherface or have no idea what's happening, which is very rare. But if you do find someone, and if you show them that scene where he turns around and he's wearing that dude's face, oh, man, that's going to fucking do something to their brain. Like, their brain will never be the same after that.
No, it won't. There's a couple kills that really, even Arlie Ermy, the sheriff's death, he got fucking hit by the car a couple times. That was
ran
rough.
over. Yep.
Fucking Andy got his leg cut off, and I know that wasn't his death really, because Jessica Biel stabbed him. But dude got his leg cut off, and every time, to me, that's the only way a chainsaw is going to practically work. If you're out in the open, if you can't see it and you pretty much run through it.
Yeah.
Because that will do it. That'll do the trick.
Dude, his death just straight up sucked. He got his leg cut off. He got hooked.
And then salted.
And then salt in it. Oh, salt.
Ow!
Like salt in the wound. That phrase, literally right there. Oh,
like
God.
Grained salt, dude.
Yeah.
That was fucking rough. Like, hanging you like your meat for
and
dinner.
And then he didn't even get stabbed nicely either. Like, she just fucking just jammed it in his gut. Like, that's a horrible spot to stab somebody.
Yeah, not good.
Oh.
Not good.
God, that's just
like
a horrible.
Playing piano. Like, that's what I would have did. I would have stabbed him and then pulled, like, some, like, piano. Like, just some, like, saloon-style piano.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just where I would have went. But there were some fun deaths there. I mean, like, Pepper's death wasn't too intense. I mean, she just got chainsawed. Boyfriend, he got bashed up. One dude, the dude that looked more 70s than the rest of them, he got fucking hung up.
Yeah, and then he probably got cut to pieces, but they didn't show it.
Mm-hmm.
He got fucked up.
Yeah, he got taken out pretty good. I tell you, I've heard a lot of people, too, mention, like, that, Well, first off, what's that girl's name? Something German. The girl, she was Beth in Hostel 2. That's the girl that was in the car, Lauren German. So, like, she had dark hair in Hostel 2. She was the final girl that ended up winning, you know, because she was rich and had the bank accounts.
Yeah.
But she was the hitchhiker. Dog. So, when I was a younger man, you know, it made me question because, you know, I was definitely, you know, the starting of clapping cheeks. You know, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, you're learning, right? Lots of finger banging. And, you know, there was a part of me where it's like, can they fit a whole gun up there? Can they fit a whole gun up there? Because, you know what I mean? Like, I got to trim my nails. It's hard to go 4 wide. And they're getting whole fucking weapons up here. So I didn't know. I didn't know how we're holstering this. But maybe it was on the thigh. I don't know. But she pulled a gun out from her vagine. And this is still a mystery. But as a younger man, you know, I just didn't know if that's how all women came, you know, with their own gun holster.
Now, there's a lot of stuff you can put up there.
Oh yeah. I mean, now I'm an adult. I've seen, you know, I've been through horror stories. I've seen the internet, and I've done, you know, all sorts of things. You learn, but as a younger man, you know, you're still inquisitive. Even now, like I'm saying, like us as men, we learn things about the women's body as far as like how to deal with you during your time of the month, how to make your clitoris stimulated, and then how to touch your nipples, these kind of things, right? And then, you know, what you don't want. We learn these things. But, like, if we're in the hospital and you're going through, like, baby stuff and they're talking, well, I have no idea, dude. That's like a fucking spaceship. I don't know.
They don't even know half the time.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, the woman's shit is so intricate, dude. Truthfully, I feel bad that they have to go through. Like, it's insane.
No,
like,
they got all kinds of tubes and shit up in there. Like, there's one ways. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on up in there.
It's intense, and I have no idea, bro. It's you have no idea. You're way out of left field. So it's like, even if you feel super confident, you know.
You ain't.
Yeah. You're not.
You don't know shit.
You don't.
No.
Yep. I remember, even like with my youngest little baby, I was in that hospital room, and, you know, my wife's in labor, and the nurse looked at me and said, "Grab her leg." I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, is this like a dangerous, like 911? Like, do you need me, or is this like a part of what normal people do?" But I was afraid because I had no idea what was going on, my guy. I had no idea. It was scary. It was scary. I don't like dealing with that kind of stuff. And then I'm just dealing with life the best that I can. And I know that these people were trying to do the best they could, confronting Leatherface, doing all they could, but they failed. All right, there's only one final girl. All right, there's only one girl who made it to the end. Everybody else died.
Yep.
Nobody else makes it, man.
Mm-hmm. And they're all there because of her anyway.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Tell me we didn't go to Mexico to buy weed.
There were so many opportunities to get out of there.
Oh, yeah,
But everybody had to do what she wanted to do.
Well, now your horror movie knowledge knows. Like, if this fucking hitchhiker, which I'm not picking up in the first place. Second off, if this girl somehow gets into our car and she's disturbed, fucked up, saying, "Do not go here." I've seen so many movies. Guess what I'm not doing? I'm not going there.
Nah.
I'm not. No. Where we? Okay, these people are bad. How far away should we go? Just keep going, man. Okay. And then, like, you know, I'm going to take your words somewhat for granted at first. Like, if you're that battered looking. Now, you could tell a difference between a homeless person or a person who was dressed normal one day and had a fucking shit happen to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody who, like, survived a tragedy. There's a difference. Like, a homeless person, you know, they're, like, kind of comfortable in their gear. Like, you can see, like, oh, okay, that's the homeless get-up there. I see you.
Yeah.
She was not in a homeless get-up. She was in a spring dress or whatever, a fucking summer dress. Shit wasn't well. But I don't know. I've seen so many movies that we're not doing that, dog. We got to go.
Nope.
And then we go in a gas station covered with flies, and they're like, "You're going to go meet the sheriff here."
At this old mill through fucking... No.
No, I'm going to leave this body on your fucking front porch.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or we're just going to, you know. But I remember being younger, too, like, watching, like, because some of the dudes were pissed that she did it in the car. And I'm like, what an asshole, dude. Like, girl fucking killed herself. And then, like, now that I'm an adult and I own vehicles, you'd be so pissed.
Oh, yeah.
your back window's busted, and there's just brain goo everywhere.
Yeah, and it's rotting, and you ain't gonna get that smell out.
And chances are you're probably gonna sell the fucking car.
Oh,
Like, you're
fuck
like
yeah,
you're
when
like
it was
not gonna.
That day.
Yeah, dude.
Like, get it cleaned up, bleach that shit, fucking sell it. Get the fuck out of here. I ain't keeping that van.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool shot going through her head, though.
Yeah, they kept doing that. Yeah, they did multiple shots through that continuously, which is good.
That looked really cool. I don't know if that was an homage to the Under the Swing dolly shot from the original.
I feel like they tried to do that with Jessica Biel at one point, but it wasn't like under a swing or anything. It was kind of like back with her, but you just were so distracted by other things in the frame that you didn't really notice it. But I caught a whiff of it a little bit, like, oh, okay, that's kind of similar to that, but then I was distracted again. So,
aside from Jebediah, because Jebediah is definitely probably my favorite character. I don't know how you can't love that little boy. But I love the old man.
In the wheelchair?
Yeah, I love him. And that guy passed away a few years ago. But that guy was awesome, dude. He was like, "You ain't running things, boy." Like,
I said she could go in. You.
That was real dialogue. I work with 5 guys just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a real old man. Yeah. "You ain't running things, boy." And then he just starts beating on the floor for Leatherface. Like, "Come on, boy." And they don't know that's what he's doing. He thinks he's like trying to call him out like a bull. Like, "Come on." But really, he's stomping on that floor telling Leatherface to get his shit together. Mm-hmm. And when that door flies open, that's a great scene. Very intense. It's lots of running. It's done well.
Getting blocked at chainsaw. Lots of sparks with the tire iron.
Oh, great scene.
Through the sheets and bed sheets outside Lake Off. It was great. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I definitely enjoyed that. And if you're going to make a Texas Chainsaw movie, even though one thing that I was very happy about is that like the rest of the movies respected Part 2. Part 2 was silly, and it was fun. It was a FUBU horror movie. It is a horror comedy, if we're being straight up.
Yeah.
But that underground layer of like tunnels and shit, like where Leatherface takes you, that's really where that was introduced. And I feel like every movie since then has incorporated that. And it was like, hell yeah. Like, hell yeah. Like, I love that. Like, it's kind of like Jason had that in the new remake. Like, just like the underground tunnels of like, this is where the fuck we're taking you. It's like more than a basement. Like, you're like in a lair down there. Like, I don't know. I really appreciate that they've done that. So for a film that some don't take serious, I'm glad that they took something from it. Like, nah, we're keeping this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, this is interesting to me. You okay?
Oh, yeah.
I want to know what it rates on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating.
6 out of 10.
Shut the...
Sloppy horror rating, baby, yeah!
Yes, welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. This is the one of a kind, world-renowned, world-famous, one and only special little rating system for you. This is developed by Christian Ramey, your Scary Mary movie companion. He is going to show you what this movie rates on a horror movie scale as a horror movie, not a movie, and not a movie in general. Get it? Got it? You get it? You got it? You good? We're ready to go. Now, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do this in a series of 4 categories. 3 of the categories are worth 3 points. Last category is worth 1 point for a total of
10 points altogether.
Yeah. Diaz for you down south of the border.
Yeah.
So let's get into the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
See? Casting? See?
Is that a comb?
Yeah.
Why do you have a comb?
I don't know. It's just...
Dude, I saw something on the internet.
Cats?
Yeah. Is that work?
I tried it on my big one and it didn't work. I haven't tried it on Church though.
Okay.
But my cat's Finn's a hard one to try it on because he's like a fat Garfield cat. There's 2 kinds of cats. There's like ninja kitties, and then there's just like I'm a big fat fuck.
Yeah.
Like there's no in between. Like there's like I'm either a big loaf or I'm a fucking ninja. Like that's your cat types. The zoomy kitties are the like I'm just eating everything. Finn's kind of funny though, but I don't think he's cat enough to react. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to try it with my other kitty because she's more ninja-like.
All right, we'll try that later. Anyway, sorry. Let's get into the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
Gonna have to go 3. It's R. Lee Ermey. It's Jessica Biel. That dude that played Kemper, I like him, you know. I like him. I forget his name, but he's in a bunch of shit, too. He's in Buffy. He was in the OC. He's just been all types of shit. It's just a great cast, man. Great cast of people. Everybody did well. It was a blockbuster movie, so it's one of the strong points of it.
Okay. 3 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the second category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is kills.
Screaming a 2 to me. I want to say middle of the road, but like because it is the chainsaw and the leg, and then like you get even some of the implied. I mean, I know the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's a lot more implied. It's more bloodless than people put, but there's a decent amount of carnage, if you will, in this, from the head being blown off to just the leg being cut off. Like, there's just a lot of fucking ow.
Yeah, there's a lot of painful things in this movie.
And I know it is specific to deaths, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 throughout the movie, but it feels like a 2. It's nothing like too crazy. It's probably like a little bit more for me. I don't know, does that sound right to you?
Yeah, I mean it's I'm in between 1.5 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
But Leatherface, gotta give him a 2.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta give him a 2. So that is 5.5. 5. This is 5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the third, final 3-point category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is fear.
I feel like this is another one of those 1.5ers, because I feel like you're going to have half the people showing up that are fans of horror and Leatherface, and they're like, hell yeah. But I feel like in this month, if you were to play this movie for the average citizen with your family that's not into horror, you are probably going to have some people locked in, because some people have never seen this before. So if you get them in, it's still newer and relevant enough where I feel like that journey is still able to happen. I just don't think you're going to get everybody, because people love Leatherface. So I just feel like it's a real middle of the road 1.5, because I do feel like this is a great movie to put on with somebody who hasn't seen it. You might freak them out.
Yeah, I mean, really, that you get 1.5 usually when you're dealing with one of the icons. So it makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. So that is 6.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Final 1-point category for half a point each here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is rewatchability.
Yep, it's probably one of the most rewatchables, dude. It's just easily digestible, very palpable, and people love it, man. It's the perfect time of the year to watch it.
I agree. I have nothing else to add to that. You pretty much said everything that needs to be said there. I like that.
Yeah!
So that is a total of fucking 7.5 for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast, right back up in your asshole.
Do you like Total Cereal?
No.
All right.
I don't think I've ever had it.
It's actually not bad. You like Raisin Bran?
No.
Raisin Bran's good, but you gotta be in the mood for it. Man, we got 2 movies left this season. Maybe a little bonus episodes in store, though. I got something in mind.
Well, that means we're getting closer to Halloween time.
Hello, it's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
I like that one.
It's Halloween. Come on, guys. It's Halloween. What the fuck you doing? We gotta get our candy.
We got a pile of pumpkins. It's Halloween. Bull.
You know, this isn't the season of remakes, but since I've been so staunchly against certain doing remakes and only covering originals, I felt like this is the Halloween season, and it's no need to be bitter. Let's lean into the movies that people enjoy, and I enjoy. I like this movie. I don't dislike this movie at all.
Is the next movie a remake too?
It is, and it is one of the better ones from this time frame, with Deadpool in it. Deadpool, the actor who plays Deadpool, obviously. It's not.
Huh? Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but
He's in it.
what the fuck? What movie is that?
I'm gonna rhyme it.
Okay, rhyme it. Lyrically assassinated for me.
Slamity Slill.
Oh, I forgot that he was in that.
It's an Eminem song.
Yeah, I know.
That song gets stuck in my head sometimes.
Oh, that's good. That's one of my favorite horror movies.
It's a good one, dude. It's a really good one. And as far as remakes, it's what same time frame. It was kind of like when they were doing them right.
Yeah.
And it had been so long since we had an installment, and a lot of the old ones were dated. And just like 13 Ghosts, it's a movie from like late 50s or early 60s, and then it gets made in early 2000s. There's a lot of differences in film at that point. So it's like, yeah, that really is truthfully modernizing it. And I love the original Amityville Horrors, but they just had limitations for what they can do in comparison to this one. So I just told them what it was.
Mentally ill from Amityville. Accidentally kill your family still.
It's a good one. So
It is a good one. That's another remake that I actually did enjoy, even though it was Brian Reynolds over there, because you don't normally see him in this type of movie environment. So it's kind of interesting. That makes it interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's nice to see that.
I like him in those kind of roles.
Yeah, I do actually.
But in comparison to the other shit he does.
He just I don't mind him, but I can only take a certain amount of it before then it starts to get annoying.
It's something happened after Deadpool. Now hey guys, every time I talk, I'm like, hey, I go no.
He's done that.
I
Before.
talk in a
He's done
sequel.
that. He's been that way before Deadpool.
It just, that cadence is annoying to me. Like, it's just talk, my guy. And like when he's in normal movies, it's just like he's normal, and you're like, oh hell yeah, I like this. But it's kind of like that we were talking with Scream 4. Like when every scene you have to the like, all right, bro, we get like, okay, you're funny. Like, slip them in there, dude. Like easy.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah.
Don't nut so fast.
Yeah, dude.
Enjoy, don't too much friction at one time. It's not good.
It reminds me of fucking Night at the Roxbury, like where Chris Kattan's telling it, like Will Ferrell's like trying to talk to girls, like, how you doing? He's like, hey man, it's too many. You gotta take it down. Oh, okay. How you doing? He just started firing them. How you doing? Every girl he saw, it's like, hey, easy, dude.
Did you just touch my ass?
Yeah. I love that movie. That's a good. Well, I swear to God, dude, I don't know if it's gonna be on, if it'll be a Patreon, which I'm gonna do another Halloween episode for you guys. I got some fun Halloween news articles that I found that I'm gonna, they're kind of funny. So if you guys want to hear that, that's where that'll be. But I do want to somehow be at Patreon or just bonus episodes. We need to do a 5-pack or a 10-pack of random movies.
We can't, okay? Because we're going to pick some of our favorite movies, and it will just be us quoting the movie for an hour.
Well,
fucking, we did Analyze This.
Well, here's the deal, because we there would be no rating, obviously, but like just occasionally do some bonus, because we would still stick to a structure of like a synopsis and a fill them shoes, and you could still do favorite parts and whatever. But I think that would be hilarious. But I also feel like maybe one time pick like 5, like we need to pick like 5 movies we haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. Just neither one of us have seen, and then just like we have to watch them individually. That would
be a season. That would be a regular season.
Yeah, but not horror, because I don't know if like that you would have to really comb the earth for franchise. If I haven't seen it,
there's plenty out there.
If I haven't seen it, it's because it would have to be real B rated. But all I mean is there's just so many movies that I could see you and I covering. If you guys think that's a good idea, let me know. right after you guys are doing that subscribe thing to the YouTube and doing the 5-star ratings on Apple and Spotify and purchasing your t-shirts and subscribing to Patreon.
And sending us nudes.
And butthole colors. If you can get, like, you know when you, at Home Depot, how they have, like, the little markers?
If anybody's on a dating app or anything, just put that as one of your things. Like, what's one thing I'd really like to know about you? Colors your butthole.
Mm-hmm.
It will work. It will work.
Yeah, let's get down to it.
Yeah.
Tell us the things I really want to know.
I want to see it in the comments. You want to see it in the comments of this video on YouTube? Just comment the color of your butthole. You don't have to put my butthole color is. Just put a color, and I'll know that's the color of your butthole.
You know what's an underrated question you could really get to know people? First off, what's your favorite ice cream? You could tell how basic they are, how picky they are, how fucking complicated they like. You could really. I like kind of like a almond milk pistachio ice. You're like, yeah, nope.
No, go away from me.
You know, you want somebody right in the middle of like a cookies and cream, chocolate chip cookie dough, Rocky Road, something that's fun, more than just basic, but you don't.
That's a good idea, man.
Peanut butter too, though, crunchy or creamy. You could just see. I mean, I could do both, but you just got to see what kind of people they are.
Fucking say mint chocolate. Go the fuck home.
I love mint chocolate,
I
but
hate
that's
you.
know
That's
not,
horrible.
It's
horrible.
They make mint cookies and cream, dog. It's so good.
Oh God.
That's I got that upstairs actually.
That's disgusting. Anyway. That's it for the episode for you little boys and girls. So I hope you come back next week for the next episode of The Road to Halloween, because we're starting to run out of gas. We're almost at our destination, and it's gonna be fucking fantastic. So we'll see you next week.
'Cause I got a chainsaw, yeah!